Hi folks, I just want to go back briefly to where I left off in the other video, and I sort of glossed over this example here, so I want to take a quick look at it. When you have two articles by the same author, um, for instance, what you'll have is something like this. Leitner has argued that computers are not useful tools for small children. Because you have a name, what you do is you take the title and you abbreviate it in a way that's going to help the reader discern the difference between the two sources that you're using. For instance, this one continues, though he has acknowledged elsewhere that early exposure to computer games does lead to better small motor skill development in a child's second and third year. The second part of that actually comes from a separate source, but they're both by the same person. So what you'll notice is that what you have to do is essentially just like you do with the source without an author, is you just take that title and you abbreviate it in a way that's going to help the reader differentiate between the two. You place that title inside of quotation marks, and if you have a page number like they do in this example, you're going to provide the page number for these, where that information came from. But if you don't, then you just leave the page number off and just have the abbreviation of the title there. Now let's go back to the works cited page again and talk about format. I was cut off a little bit there at the end of the last video, so let's just review again. Now at the top of your page you're going to have works cited with an S, because there's more than one. Works cited, that's centered, and then the remainder of the page, everything on the page is double spaced, not single, so everything is double spaced on this page. And as I was saying in the previous video, you alphabetize everything by author's last name. Now if there is no author, like in this example here for instance, what you do is you begin with the title and you're going to alphabetize by the first letter of the first word of the title. If the first word is A, N, or the though, then you alphabetize by the first letter of the second word. The other important aspect of the works cited page here is that it has a hanging indent, and what that means is that each source, you begin with at the left margin for the beginning of each line there, of the first line, and then if that source goes over one line and goes onto a second line, then what you do is you indent the second line 5 spaces or 1 tab. And what this does is it essentially just makes it easy for the reader to locate a source if they want to locate it quickly. For instance, let's say I'm reading your paper and I see this John Gowdy source and I want to locate it for myself. What I'll do is I go to the works cited page to find the location information, and then all I'll have to do is look at the left margin, and all I'm going to notice is author last names in the beginning of titles, so it helps me locate things quickly. For instance, if we didn't have this hanging indent, this indentation of the second line, then everything would be flush with the left margin. It would be really difficult to locate things quickly. So that's essentially why we do that. So just keep in mind, you alphabetize by the author's last name or the first letter of the first word of the title, unless the first word is A, N, or the, and then you alphabetize by the second word. Everything is double spaced, and then you have the hanging indent. And also keep in mind that anything that is cited in text in the body of your paper must be listed on this works cited page. You will not list anything on the works cited page that is not cited directly in the body of your paper. So keep that in mind, and remember that the works cited page is numbered as if it were the last page of your paper. Okay, so that should be in the upper right hand corner. It doesn't, however, count as part of the word count. For instance, if I say your paper must be a minimum of 5 to 7 pages, and let's say you have 5 full pages of a paper, then you would number this as page 6. You couldn't have 4 pages of a paper and then expect to number this as page 5. That's not the way that that works. So you must have minimum of 5 full pages plus the works cited page, so this would be labeled page 6 in that case. One thing you want to keep in mind is that all these videos that have to do with citation and MLA and works cited, you can't watch these just one time and then expect that you're going to understand all this information. So you're going to need to watch them multiple times until you feel like you do. And I also have some other things on on the website within Blackboard as well that are going to help you understand this information. So after you watch these videos, if you still have questions, do this. Go into Blackboard and just click on your course. And then once you're inside your course, down near the bottom of the page, you're going to see something called MLA, and it's here under Mail. So if you click MLA, it's going to take you to this page that is outside of Blackboard. This is a website called the Online Writing Lab at Purdue University, and here what you can do is just do the research tab here and click that. And actually I don't see it there, so what you can do is just search for MLA. There are multiple points that you can get in to this site from there, and there it comes up there. So then you'll see the MLA formatting and style guide. Essentially over on this side, over here on the left side, everything that you need to know about MLA can be accessed there. So if you have an unusual type of source, like maybe an interview or a documentary or something like that that you want to use, you can look up the citation for that here. But it essentially gives you everything you need to know, the basics, and then the different types of sources that you have. So it gives you examples of each one there. So obviously if you still have questions, you can ask me about it. But what I'd like for you to do first is try to find that answer on your own, because that answer is already here on this website for you. Again, though, too, it might be a good idea to make an appointment with the Writing Center and have them check your citations for you as well as your works cited page.